Well, here we are, the next chapter of Mortal Kombat's figure history. If you missed the figures from 1994 to 2000, feel free to go back and catch them on the Figure Collections channel. Fair warning, we get pretty deep into the weeds with variants in this video, so if you're a casual collector, don't feel like you need to grab all of these figures. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Jazwares' Mortal Kombat figure assortments. Jazwares had the rights to produce Mortal Kombat figures twice. Once from 2005 to 2007, and again from 2011 to 2013, after Warner Brothers took ownership of Mortal Kombat. Jazwares would base their first run of figures on the Deception and Shaolin Monk video games. These figures were notable for their cheap price point, usually found at retail between $6 and $10 a piece. Great articulation and availability. Because of the graphic nature of these games, major toy chains like Target and Walmart didn't carry the figures. However, some would take the gamble by carrying every figure assortment, like CVS pharmacies of all places, as well as Toys R Us. Wave 1 was based off of 2004's Deception game. Baraka, Raiden, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero made up the first series. This was the first time Scorpion and Sub-Zero weren't made in their usual ninja forms, and gave Baraka his first action figure. Instead of releasing a series of new figures with new characters, the second wave was the same as the first. The second wave featured less accessories packed with the figures, and the size of the bubbles attached to the carding were smaller. Tower Records had their own Mortal Kombat exclusives before all their stores closed, with 2 releases of Scorpion. An individually boxed Sub-Zero was exclusive to AFX, whatever that is. Wave 3 was based on the Shaolin Monks video game, which would be released the same year in 2005. Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Kung Lao were released in this wave. More exclusives were made, like Liu Kang and Kung Lao in this 2-pack. The much more sought-after 2-pack of Sub-Zero and Scorpion was exclusive to Hot Topic. Sub-Zero's arms are slightly different than the Wave 3 figure. Mortal Kombat Wave 4 was what you might call a best-of assortment. It featured a different color scheme on the card, which looks a little nicer than the first. Figures included were Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, and Baraka. Wave 5 is where things get a little hazy. The first cases of Wave 5 sent to retailers included 8 figures, which were all shown on the back of the packaging. Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero, and also new figures of Kano, Johnny Cage, Noob, and Reptile. This wouldn't last long, as the assortment would be sent to retailers again through the year, but without these 4. Note the Jazwares logo on the card, as this would change for future sets. Just these 4 were included with Wave 6. This wave was basically the same set as Wave 5, with some changes. First, the updated Jazwares logo. There's also differences on the back of the packaging. The coloring of Noob's attire would change, now in a solid black instead of gray. Wave 7 was the final wave before Deception and Shaolin Monk video games and figures ran their course. Released with updated tan-colored packaging, Wave 7 included Johnny Cage, Kano, Noob, Reptile, and Goro. The final Mortal Kombat figure released was Goro, originally available at San Diego Comic-Con in 2007. It would then be available at Toy Rocket and KB Toys. Notice the differences between Series 7 Goro and the exclusive Goro. That would be the end of the first iteration of Jazwares' Mortal Kombat figures released to collectors. Plans for other figures were discussed, including these frustratingly unreleased figures. Raiden was sculpted differently, a translucent reptile, a Mortal Kombat box set with diorama, and perhaps the most heartbreaking of all, Kintaro, who is yet to be made by any other toy company. Oh well, maybe someday. Ownership in the Mortal Kombat franchise had changed. In 2008, the economy performed a fatality on Midway, the Mortal Kombat franchise owner. With bankruptcy, Midway sold its Mortal Kombat assets to Warner Bros. Around 2010. After a 4-year absence with no action figures on the shelves, Mortal Kombat would be back with Jazwares, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the first video game. Released were 6-inch figures like before, but also a 3 3/4-inch figure line for the first time since Hasbro's G.I. Joe Mortal Kombat figures. 2 assortments of the nearly 4-inch figures were made. A modern line and a classic figure assortment. The modern figure assortment included Nightwolf, Raiden, Johnny Cage, Baraka, Liu Kang, Reptile, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. The classic assortment included only the ninjas of the Netherrealm, with Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Ermac, Smoke, and Noob. Exclusives were plentiful with this run of Mortal Kombat figures. Classic box sets included sets of Smoke, Sector, and Cyrax, and a 6-pack box set of almost all the ninjas. This box set would have been the only way to acquire a Rain figure. Other sets included Goro with a bloody Johnny Cage, Shao Kahn's Arena with a 5-inch Shao Kahn, and a 6-pack box set with these characters. On to the 6-inch figures. Raiden's exclusive San Diego Comic-Con release kicked things off. For everyone else not at Comic-Con, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and a standard Raiden would see release. Eventually, the SDCC Raiden would also be offered at Toys R Us too. Wave 2 of the 6-inch figures included Liu Kang, Kano, Baraka, but also first-time 6-inch figures of Jax and Nightwolf. Shao Kahn would be released shortly after with a solo-packed case. Other exclusives released before the line was kaput included a clear 2-pack of Reptile and Jax. And maybe the best Mortal Kombat figures done by Jazwares, a box set of 4 ninjas, done in the art style of Mortal Kombat 1. They came with little friendship dolls. That's right, dolls for your dolls. Action figures for your action figures. That would wrap up everything released by Jazwares in regards to Mortal Kombat. But just like their first run, they would have many figures go unreleased. For us Mortal Kombat fans, the Jazwares line is about as close as we will be able to get to recreating memories of the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 games. You know, without having to mortgage the house that you haven't even bought. With a little elbow grease, you could turn this version of Kano into something reminiscent of the original Kano. I failed art class in high school, so go easy on me, please. Also, Sonya Blade wasn't made in 6-inch form, other than this Palisades Toys version, which blends in fairly nice. Mortal Kombat figures would be on hiatus for a few short years until Mezco's 2015 run. But we'll cover all of that with our next chapter of Mortal Kombat's action figure history. Hey, thanks for watching! I hope you enjoyed another look at Mortal Kombat figures. If you want to support us, you can grab a deal from us on eBay at figurecollections.com/store. And if you want to make your own checklist of everything Mortal Kombat, go to figurecollections.com where you can find a database of over 40,000 figures.